Om Shanti. Welcome to Treasure of Experiences by the Brahma Kumaris. Friends, today we have a very wonderful personality in front of us, and we would be listening to his rich treasure of experiences. And today we have a celebrity with us who's from the sports field. Welcome, brother Gopichand.
Thank you very much.
It's so nice to be with you, and welcome to the Treasure of Experiences. Gopichand needs no introduction. He was an international badminton player, represented India in the Olympics, at various other badminton championship. He currently is the chief of the he is the chief coach of the Indian national badminton team. He was awarded the Padma Bhushan, Padma Shri, Arjun Award, Dronacharya Award, and the Dhyan Chand Khel Ratna Award also. He established in the year 2008 the Gopichand Badminton Academy, which produced star players like Sindhu and Sania Nehwal. And today we will be talking to Gopichand. Brother, I just want to, for the benefit of our audience, I want to know, how did this journey of you getting into sports, how did it all happen to you? Because there are certain people who willingly choose sports as a career. For somebody it happens as an accident. What was your story? How did it all began?
First of all, I'm one of those who was accidentally into sports.
Okay.
My father worked in a bank, so he was getting transferred all over the place.
Okay.
He was, for the initial years, he was posted in Orissa, and then in Chennai for a few years, then in coastal Andhra for a few years, and then when I came to Hyderabad, I was about 10 years of age.
Okay.
It somehow happened that we were living close to the stadium, and like all other kids, I was also playing cricket. This was around the year 85. After the World Cup of 1983, I think everybody was playing only cricket.
Yeah.
And I was also one of them. Cork ball, hard ball, broke a few window panes. Neighbors were complaining, so mother took me to the stadium. That's my first initiation into sport. For some reason, not for some reason, but for the lack of an admission, we didn't get into cricket.
Okay.
And tennis seemed a bit more expensive than affordable. So they decided to put me into badminton.
Okay.
So you can say it's by chance. I didn't have many thoughts about this being a career. I don't think anybody had those thoughts. But as time went by and I started playing better and better, there seemed an opportunity which was visible. Every step I climbed, the next step seemed possible. And I moved from district to a state to a national and an international level, and more from becoming or being a student in maths, physics and chemistry to becoming or taking a career into sport, leaving that and taking easier subjects to pass, and studies became the secondary option, and sport became the primary career option. And I was lucky that I was been able to make this into a career, get a job in the initial place, and of course later make this into a whole career itself.
Oh, wonderful. Was badminton into you? Was it a God gift that you could play it so effectively? Or was it real sheer hard work, perseverance? You had to learn the tricks of the trade of badminton. Your coaches had to really push you through the wall, or was it very easy for you?
I think the initial years were very easy because I really loved the sport. I just loved playing. Yes, I would say it was God's gift. Even the ability to learn was God's gift.
Okay.
The ability to push myself was God's gift. But I really pushed myself. I really enjoyed the hard work. I enjoyed the discipline. I enjoyed the competition. I enjoyed the fight. And I think it was still God's gift.
Okay. So your initial initiation into badminton was through your parents, and then you started liking it. But was it your climb up the ladder to the international level? Was it so smooth, or was it coupled up with a lot of challenges, difficulties?
I think there were challenges. I can't deny the fact that there were challenges. We had struggle between studies and sport. That was a big struggle because we were going into schools which were pretty good academically, so they weren't lenient. So for them, even a 70% marks was less or an 80% was less. So they wanted higher grades. So their exams at school were always tougher than the board exams. So you almost barely managed to pass the school exams, but when they wrote the board exams, you would come out flying colors. But the school pushed you to be better.
Yeah.
So it was always tough balancing studies and sport from a marks perspective. It was challenging managing studies and sport from a time perspective.
Okay.
Always you would have sessions in the morning at 5:30. I would have to be there, so we'd get up really early, go there, finish the badminton training by 8 o'clock, come back, rush back to school by 9. You barely manage to get into the classroom before the bell rang, and then at 3:15 you ran out of school, being the first to ensure that you are first to get to the badminton court, to get a court to play. And you come back, you're so dead tired by the end of the day that you're just eating and sleeping, and next day's homework you're just managing somewhere on the way. So that's how life was. It was tough, it was challenging, but I enjoyed every bit of it, to say the same. Financially, father worked in a bank. We had 3 kids, so it wasn't easy to have resources to buy shuttles, rackets, travel, shoes, all of it. So there was just enough all the time. There wasn't any excess to spend anywhere. So financially there were challenges, there were sacrifices which the family had to put to ensure that I played. My brother, my sister, my parents needed to really support me to play the sport. So there were financial. I don't think we've ever gone to holiday together after I've started playing badminton.
Okay.
Or we've not gone to a function together, because I would always have my practice, my food, my time, my sleep kind of mindset. So it was kind of challenging. So that was also one of the issues. So overall, I would say it was tough, it was challenging, but never did we feel deprived in any sense, because what we liked we were doing. The family was helping out, but they always did it out of such love and affection that it never mattered or bothered to think that this was going through a rigor or a pain or a discipline. It always felt nice doing it growing up.
So you mean to say your family really supported you, and maybe you had enough of it to just get through, going through that beautiful period, financially also, emotionally also, the family support also. And brother, if I need to ask you, the story you mentioned, this was how many years long back? Probably 20 years back?
This is about this I'm talking about more from 85 to 91, 92 age
so
group.
85 to 90. If you look at the same scenario, somebody like Gopichand, the new Gopichand in the making, how would the scenario be in today's life in terms of the pressure academically? Has the state of sports in India improved, wherein if you find talent, it would be much more easy, the journey, or would it be more difficult than what you faced during the 80s, 90s?
Things have improved quite a bit. You have to give it to it. Maybe in between, sometime around the 90s and 95 to 2000, maybe it was even worse. But at least in the last 5 to 10 years, I would say post 2008-9, things for sport in general have grown. And in fact, I will also have to give a lot of credit to the present government. Post 2014, they've done some phenomenal work in terms of encouraging sport. So whether we have things like Fit India, Khelo India, and the various schemes, there's something called the Top Scheme. They really are out there talent searching. They are trying to find people, support them. And so there are good likely chances that you could end up being part of a government setup and they can actually end up supporting you. So overall, it's a good journey. Yes, there is lot different kinds of struggle. I remember I would walk to the stadium in the morning at 6 or 5:30, come back, go to the stadium, go to the school, come back from school, and we were walking, we were maxes cycling, we were taking city buses and ending up, and we were like, what, 12-year-olds, 10-year-olds, and we were doing that. I don't think that is possible anymore. So today what's challenging is that a parent needs to accompany a kid to play. He needs to bring them back. So we traveled from here to Delhi to Guwahati and Manipur alone. We would go in trains, a bunch of 4 or 5 of us who were under the age of 15, and we would be part of a group and we would just go. But now that element has got a lot more tougher. So I think today's challenges are different. Today's scenarios are different. We can't really compare generations to generations, but I think each generation, I would say, has its own challenges.
The pluses and the minuses.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But I think today's sports, Indians badminton sports looks to be much more well off in terms of opportunities, in terms of finding talents, in terms of facilities, in terms of professionalism in sports compared to what it was.
Yeah, you can say that on one front, that lot more tournaments, lot more opportunities, lot more scholarships or stipends or programs which the government has done. But on another front, when we were playing, we were about, say, in the whole country, literally there would be maybe 100 people who were playing to turn professional in that sense. And 50% of them would get government jobs. Today, the number of people who are actually playing sport has grown maybe 100 times from then to now. Maybe 10,000 people play the sport. But the number of jobs available have pretty much remained the same. So that for me is the biggest concern as far as your question about opportunities comes. So today, the avenues are different. They're not the same as what they were. And today, kids have to look at other options, and there's a new set of challenges. So, to answer your question, I would say the challenges are there then, but with the numbers growing, today there are a different set of challenges.
Brother, you are the only second Indian after Prakash Padukone to win the All England Open Badminton Championship way back in 2001. And in the course of winning that particular championship, in the semi-finals, you even defeated world number 1. Then went on to defeat in the finals the Chinese counterpart. How was your experience of winning that particular tournament? How did you prepare yourself for the tournament? What was the feeling when you were playing the match, and post when you finished the entire tournament and you came out very successful? What was the feeling?
Of course, the preparations for those years, maybe around 99, 2000, 2001, when I won the All England, were pretty intense. And I was played the Olympics with a hope of winning a medal, but the disappointment of losing was pretty high when I lost it. So I prepared the games of the All England also equally well, but went there with lot less expectations. We had a tough journey, travel, and going there was itself a challenge because we had to travel almost 26-27 hours to get to Birmingham, and we just reached the evening prior to the matches. So when we played the matches, there was a lot of bodily pain, there was a lot of physical torture which I felt. So when I won the All England, more than anything, I was happy that I could rest for the next few days, because the pain, the physical pain of playing was a bit too much. Having said that, I think today when people recollect, when people recognize you, it's the fact that you won the All England. So I think that's a big moment for me in my own career. Okay. It's also been a great moment, because it's not only has been very important for me, Gopichand the player, but also it made me the foundation for Gopichand the coach, whether it was the academy setting up, whether it was the players believing that you are somebody who can guide them to the highest level. I think all of it was thanks to the All England victory. So it has a big impact on my career.
Yeah. Wonderful. You mentioned that it was difficult for you to accept the defeat in the Olympics. So as a player, how is a player's psyche, the mental makeup, when you face defeats or you lose matches? Because behind an Indian player's win or loss is just not an individual's win or loss. It's maybe 130 crore Indians wanting an Indian player to win at the international level. So there's so much of pressure. How do you manage those pressures of maybe handling the expectations of millions of people? What's your state of mind during those times?
I think if you are going to put the baggage of 130 crore people on your head and play, I think you're never going to play anything. Okay. I think forget about having a smile of doing something which is risky. I think you'll be so stiff, thinking about the number of people who will be disappointed when you lose, or the number of people who will be elated when you win. I think the very idea is to shut this off and then play by your natural instinct, or play by your muscle memory. And thought is something which should not interfere with your body. Your body knows what to do. You've practiced enough, so your muscle knows what to do. Let the mind not interfere with the body. And I think that's very important. And the more you have these thoughts in your match, that I'm playing for 130 crore, or I'm represent a country. All of these are additional baggages which are not required on the badminton court or any sporting arena. So I think it's important to shut it off. Trust that you've practiced well. Whatever you've done, these are the ammunition which I have, and with this, on this day, under the present conditions, I have to win. And use all of what you have to go out there and give it all you have and win. And that's all that really matters.
So you mean to say, along with your physical fitness, it's very important for a player to also handle how his mental makeup is?
I think if you're not good mentally, you're not going to be at any stage at a sporting level. Okay. I think every sporting performance needs a certain level of mental strength. Mm-hmm. And the more you reach to the top, the more you're able to keep the noises away and let the body do what it needs to do, I think becomes the most important thing. So for me, mental strength is not something which is a pep talk, or which is given and you've taken it and it's like a pill where you figure it out. I think mental strength is also a process of your own triggers, in your own practice sessions, your own routines. All of those matter a lot. I think the simple things which you do on a daily basis is what mental strength is about. If you decide to get up at the morning at 5 and you get up at 5, it's like you put a drop in the bucket of mental strength. You decide to eat the right food, and in a day, if you resist from doing the wrong thing and you do the right nutrition, that's a drop in that bucket. If you plan to lift 10 kgs of weight and if you lift 10 kgs of weight, that's another drop in the bucket. If you find it difficult to run 5 kilometers but you actually conquer it, that's a drop in that bucket of mental strength. So over time, the number of drops you collect is what mental strength is. So unlike somebody who would think that mental strength is something like a pep talk before a match, I think it's not going to really help. Maybe maybe a very small percentage, but really what you do in practice is what comes out in a match, and I think that becomes the most important thing.
So if I can understand from what you're saying is, every day, persistently and consistently, what you do, the right actions at the physical level in terms of changing your habits for good, that will build up over a period of time what mental strength is all about. But brother, at times, was it so easy, as you mentioned, it's so very easily getting up at 5 in the morning every day, or maybe, doing a physical exercises every day. And is it so easy, or it requires, a lot of push? Maybe I would love to sleep a little more. Maybe I'll do the exercises tomorrow. Maybe I'll have a cup of ice cream right now. If at all, my coaches have asked me not to, at least till the time the tournament is over. The temptation, is it so easy to resist, or does it require, too much of effort for somebody? And what happened to you? How did you handle all those things?
I think when you're doing it for a cause which is higher,
Okay.
or when you're really loving what you do, it comes naturally. Yes, there will be moments where you will have to push it and you'll have to really resist.
Yeah.
But on a daily basis, for every small thing, if you start resisting, then eventually it's going to flop. I think so. Between these words, determination, hard work, sacrifice, and things like love, passion, involvement, I think these are the words you need to replace those words of discipline, hard work and sacrifice with, because those things, you will not be able to do it for a long period of time. You can't be disciplined every day, you can't be hardworking every day, you can't be sacrificing things every day. I think at some point there'll be a break. But yes, you can love what you do, you're totally involved in what you do, you enjoy what you do, you're passionate about what you do. And there will be times when you will have to be hardworking, you will have to be disciplined, you will have to be sacrificing something. But that has to be a small portion of the effort. It cannot be a daily morning, evening, afternoon effort. I think that's where I think it's very important to get our foundation right.
Okay.
Get the sanskars, get the people around right. If the culture of the place is good, then you don't really have a problem. If everybody is going for a party and you're going to be and everybody comes back and, oh, we had a great time, it was great fun, and we did this, and it's like you miss something, then you think, oh shit, I should have gone. Yeah. But if you are actually in a place which is, everyone is after excellence, then you never get those temptations. And once in a while there's somebody who says, I want to go for a party, you say, boss, no, because your foundations are already strong. Your ability to resist temptation is far more, and it can be done once you have strongly put it down in your heart, in your mind, that I am not going to do this because I have understood that it is not good for you.
Yeah,
I think doing with understanding is what is important.
More important. So it's doing the easy way to win in life rather than taking the hard route of always trying to resist, always trying to control yourself, always trying to discipline yourself. It would be too taxing for the body as well as with the mind. So the easy way out is to, as you mentioned, is to love, is to enjoy, is to relish, is to be very focused on to the end result and enjoy the whole process. Wonderful. One last question as a player. The whole world knows that you were successful as a badminton player. People keep you in very high regard as to you won a lot of matches for India. You took the Indian badminton to a different level. That successful Gopichand, how would you define success? Because there is a lot of complexity which or confusion which revolves around success. Generally, people consider success as awards, being famous, being into the limelight, being in the glare of the media. how would you define success as a player?
I think when you finish playing, and if you truly believe that you've given it all you have, and there's nothing more you could have done or tried that could have made you any better. If you're totally honest with you and the answer is yes, I couldn't have pushed myself more, I couldn't have sacrificed more, I have achieved what I have the potential to, I think that's success. For me, the ability to be the best version of what you can is what is success about. I think each one of us come with a certain existing gene type or existing samskaras or existing. So it's up to us to ensure that we maximize it and we reach the maximum potential we have. And I think that is what is success is. Many of us may not be as successful in the real world in terms of the competition. And I don't think we should be feeling low about it if we have given it the best shot. And many of them would say, I'm successful because the world sees them as success. But if they have the potential to do more and they've not done enough, that's not success by any yard. I think to be the best version of what you're capable of, I think is what my understanding of success is.
Wonderful. So it's not what you get from the outside. It's all about what you feel within and what you have contributed and how contented and satisfied you are with what you have, contributed in that beautiful journey of life is concerned. Having said that, I think we are so obsessed with this word success. But if you look at the number of people across the whole of the globe in any field, number of percentage of people succeeding vis-a-vis the number of people not reaching that point. So if you look at failure and success, there are more number of people who fail than succeed. What according to, I think we should think more about failures, in the sense we should redefine this word failure, because it really takes away the zeal and enthusiasm of an individual. We should train more people to handle failure successfully and gracefully, rather than pushing them to success. So how would you as a player in during stressful period when you were not able to perform to the best of your ability, or you lost in a tournament, how would you handle those failure moments?
I think for me, it's a very good friend of mine, Pradeep, would say, who's a teacher. There's only one person who can be first in class, but there's everybody who can learn something 100%. I think that's what the idea of success should be, that people are not really competing, but they're actually there to actually learn something. I think to be the best versions of who they are. Now it's far cry from in this world which is super competitive, which has marks for everything and those numbers. But I think there has to be a time where we need to kind of look at success very differently than what we are looking at. And yes, on the journey to success, I think it's very important that we need to look up and push. And I also think that it's important that the people who are pushing always look up.
Okay.
And they're always trying to be successful. I think the people around, the society, the teachers, the parents, I think we are the ones who should ensure that they don't fall. Okay. Or when they fall, they don't really hurt themselves. I think that safety net is the job of the society to provide. So I think from my perspective, we need to redefine ourselves. We need to award and reward the process more than the result itself. Right. And I think that will be a beautiful way if we can actually achieve that.
Great. So friends, you heard Gopichand sharing his experiences about very beautiful insights on defining what success, what failure is all about. I hope you really enjoyed this interaction. Once again, brother, thank you for coming here, sparing your valuable time, I know you're so busy, your schedules are so tight, but still you took time to come here and interact with us. Thank you so much. Om Shanti.